Is he going to turn off the motor? No, it's the other guy today. I better turn off the outside mic, can I? What is it? It's about 1 in 10 or so. We get this driver, the guy that doesn't turn off the... Let's turn off the audio outside. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm still here. About 1 in 10, can I? The drivers. So maybe this guy's the relief driver. One of the other guys go on vacations or days off or something. And the relief driver keeps the motor on. Should I talk to him? I guess not. Don't make trouble, Dave. He'll be gone in a minute. Okay. Good morning. What day is it today? Thursday. You know what we're going to be doing. And maybe we can finish it, or... I don't know. Finish cutting it, then it's going to need some persuading. Sorry about the slow pace of this, but simply this is a what's the word? Totally a job with no time limit. There's no deadline on this one whatsoever. This is a fill your time when you can job. My days recently are filled with the paperwork. But for this stream, we keep this handy. And once it's finished today or the next day, I'll have to find something else to do for the streaming. So this one got the other stuff on my desk here. I'm checking prints yesterday. I was checking a bunch of prints, and I got a new batch from Ishikawa-san. She's now gone off on a summer vacation, but she gave me a new batch of our I showed some prints like this on the stream a while ago, and I hadn't noticed the comment that came by, but when I was reading them at lunchtime, I noticed it. And someone said, I forget the exact words, but it was something like, that flip book that you showed us was pretty boring. Every page was the same. So that's the way it goes with Woodblock prints. This is a 60-page, 50-page book, I guess, and they're all the same. So the world's most boring flip books. If you're asking how is this print going, these are in our shop, of course. It's been up and running for some months or so. This is just the latest batch. She's made a new batch of these because we're starting to get low. The printers like this job because it's not easy, but it's a low block count, 3 blocks. And the difficult part is getting the black lines here. The difficult part is getting the black lines without any tamari, without the ink filling in the lines. And then the other difficult part is the background figures. They're made up of fine lines plus beta, flat areas. And getting the printing smooth without being too mottled is not easy. So this is not a trivial print. It's not all that difficult, but it's not trivial. No, it's been our catalog. It's been in our catalog for a long time. I have to check through these. So after the stream, I'll check through. There might be some chiri to take out, and maybe some of them do have tamari. I don't know. Almost certainly they'll be okay. Whatever. That's my job for later this afternoon. And I got my newest subscription print. I'm a subscriber to this series. I'm a subscriber, and I got my new print. Oh, 2 of them. Oh, yeah. One is for Iwano-san. I have to check the one that goes out to Iwano-san. This is how they come. This is how people get them. They're mounted not with glue. They're just mounted in corners. And the paper we're using is supposedly acid-free, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure how far I can trust those people. They're too free and easy about this, Years ago when we were choosing the paper for this, I talked to the guys, the salesmen, I'm concerned about how, the quality of the paper here, how long it's going to last, what's the pH and all this stuff. Oh, yeah, it's okay. They're always just, oh, it's okay, don't worry, it's all right, it's fine. Rather than a more scientific, give me some data approach, they're just, oh, it's okay, don't worry. And we're putting prints in here, prints that are supposedly going to last 200 years. What are you going to do? It's an existential problem for printmakers like us, The prints last 200 years, so how do you package it? Plastic, that's going to break down. Normal paper breaks down. Pulp paper, it gets moldy. How do you package a product that lasts for 200 years? There's nothing that you can use that's commercially available that is going to last as long as your product. It's like the people who are trying to do the fusion thing. You've got a reactor, right? It's plasma and stuff, and you can't hold the plasma because it melts everything in the world, Anyway. Can I test the paper myself? How can I test it? A while back, what I did was we took some of it, put it in hot water, boiled it up, distilled water, and did some pH testing on it. And it seemed to show neutral. But I don't know. Does that tell me anything? I really, really don't know. Questions. Paper out. Yes, paper's out. Sugi-san is already here, and Dei-chan is coming later on. Sugi-san's printing some more Patreon chibis. They are finally getting sent out here. Earlier question, not to be too intrusive. Questions are okay, but who makes the master drawings for you to make into carved patterns? There's all kinds of stuff. We are doing some. This one was done by a designer who's been dead for 150 years. Some of our prints, the one I just showed you was Cole Yusai, who's been 1700s. And some of the prints were living designers. We pay royalties to living designers. Do I speak fluent Japanese? According to recent posters on my YouTube channel, no. There's been 2 or 3 now. There's a rash. Somebody must have put the word out. There's a rash of people complaining about my Japanese on the YouTube channel comments. Nice of the designer that's passed on to design something new for you. This is how sarcastic, I don't know. But there is copyright and there's copyright, And of course, a print like this, the designer died in whatever he died in 1868 or something. We have no moral problem with this at all. Absolutely. So we do a mix of new designs and traditional older designs that are free from copyright. Jed Henry stalled at Otakon in Washington, D.C. I hadn't heard. He told me he was going on vacation for a week. That's funny. I talked to him about a while ago. He is really now on to me. Dave, we've got to decide next year's series. Let's get this going. And I've got 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 ideas. I'm trying to decide what to do, and Jed wants to get started. And actually with the tax thing, we sent off our tax information yesterday to the accountant. Finally. Now the queries and questions begin. So we're not finished, but at least one stage of the process is done. So today my work is going to be shipping. It's FedEx and EMS shipping today. And then after that's out of the way, top of my to-do list here is the 2022 series. I've got to decide what to do. Last chance for requests. Someone's asking about making master drawings. I know this is out of my field. You're talking about art. I know nothing about training in drawing or how to make pictures or training in artworks of any kind. What we do here is we don't do art here. We are the manufacturing company behind the artists. So you're asking about how to make drawings in Hanshita. This is a level up or a level different from where we are. So without being sarcastic about it, I'm not really able to offer you any information on that whatsoever. We're the factory that takes the designs and turns them into finished products. So that's a question above and beyond my pay grade. Trying to remember where I am. Here we are. Here's the next one. If you're talking about the physical process of hanshito, once you've got your design, how do you physically make it? In Japan, of course, it's traditionally a brush. You need to use a Japanese calligraphy brush, and you brush the design onto the super thin gampi paper, the kind of stuff that we use in the process here. You've seen us do this on the stream. But it doesn't have to be that way. It could be drawn with a computer, do anything you want, and then photocopy it onto the paper. So I'm not quite sure about the question. The technical transfer is easy. The artistic part, creating the image, that's a different animal. You know. Having trouble seeing. My hair keeps getting in the way here. I really, really, really need a haircut, and I'm stuck. I have a problem here on what to do, and I'm not quite sure how to handle it. How could there be a problem getting a haircut, like, right? The thing is, though, when I lived out in Ome, the lady three doors down, 4 doors down, the family that lives 4 doors down, the lady has a little salon, whatever you call it, in the ground floor of her house. You know, one of the rooms of their home is turned into a place where she does, hair stuff. Mostly her customers are the local ladies. They come and sit for a perm or whatever, and they chat and blah, 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 blah. But when I moved to Ome 20 years ago, she says one day, we do guys too, come on in. So I went in there one day, it's 20 years ago, and she cut my hair, whatever, just cut it. I don't need styling or anything, but she cut it. And that became the routine. So every few weeks or whenever it became that I couldn't see anymore, I went in there and she cut my hair. And when we moved to Asakusa, I didn't move to Asakusa, but now that I'm spending all my time in Asakusa, it's not so easy just to walk 4 doors down the street to her. So we'd been here in Asakusa, I guess the first summer or something, and I went to a local place and had my hair cut. There was just a local, whatever, beauty salon / barber here. And I didn't feel comfortable, but whatever, they did it. Who cares? It's a haircut, But then I was in Ome sometime shortly after that, and she says, "What happened to your hair?" I'm like, "Well, I wasn't here. I was in Asakusa," and I'm like making excuses. And I went somewhere else. I'm sorry, And she's laughing while she does, but she chewed me out. Don't do that. You don't change doctors, you don't do this, you don't change dentists, you don't just change the person who cuts your hair so trivially, And she's laughing, and I'm laughing at her, whatever. But she was serious, obviously. So I didn't do that again. I went, every, whatever it is, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whenever I can't see anymore, I figure out how to get to Ome and make some business there, and she cuts my hair. So we've all been happy, whatever. Sometimes it gets too long because I'm not out there, but whatever. Anyway, the problem now is, the last time she cut it for me, and this would be well over a month ago now, she said, "I've got a small problem. I have to have a hospitalization sometime in July and August, and I'm not sure, when I'll be actually able to get back and open up here." And I missed it. What I should have done at that point is said, "Okay, Jen, next time I'll have to go somewhere else, right? Okay?" And she must have said, "Okay." But I didn't do that. I said, "Okay, well, let me know when you get back, whatever." And she's not back yet. And it's now, whatever it is, 6 weeks or something. And I phoned the neighbor, and she said, "Oh, no, Abe-san is still in hospital." So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm going to have to go somewhere else. And yet, that means next time I see her, presumably she can't be too angry next time, right? I mean, if she's the one who was in hospital. Are we on camera? I should have checked. I didn't check very carefully, actually. Just make sure I'm in the middle. Am I on? Visible? Yes, yes, yes. Dave's hair isn't style. She just chops it. She just chops it back, you know. She has one rule: don't show my ears. Don't cut it back to show my ears. I know I'm phobic about that. I don't want to see my ears. But other than that, she just chops it, chops it, chops it. So I guess during COVID, this has been a thing. My hairdresser is in lockdown, so I guess this has actually been a thing for the past year or so. I guess a hairband, or what do you call it? A thing that goes around. I don't think I have enough to do a ponytail. My brother has the ponytail thing. He's got nothing up top and whatever's left out back. So I just don't care about the hair. Just, you know, I'm happy it's there, but I don't know. That's something else that gets funny YouTube comments, you know. There's quite a lot of comments about the hair as well, too, you know. And they're all of two kinds. One is, Dave, please get a haircut before you make the next video. You know, that's okay, I understand that. Thank you for the comment, you know. But the other kind of comment, people keep using the same word over and over again in the YouTube comments. Wow, what luscious hair. I can't quite figure that out, you know, I guess. Round and round we go here, round and round we go. So far so good, you know. I haven't had any real disasters with this block. I had been a bit concerned about it because the wood is very old and very brittle. But it's behaving itself. I'm treating it very carefully. You know, I'm speaking very politely to it. I'm treading very carefully. I'm treating it as carefully as I can, and it's behaving itself. This next one, in the middle one here, there's 3 in a row. In the middle one, from the V cuts on both sides, is almost ready by itself. But it's a little bit too fat as it is. So this is going to be a touchy one, running down a thin one to make it thinner. This is difficult. Okay. Do we need the image again? Okay, we've got it here for reference. I know. This is the print that we're going to be making. There are rain lines, and the block you see me carving right now is the block to make those black rain lines. We have the original block set on this print from about 100 years ago, but it's missing one block. So that's what I'm carving now, is a replacement block. And I'm using the back side of the key block for the image. So the wood I'm using here is easily 100 years old. There's the image. That's the key lines for the image. Put that up again. So this block is the black part. If you can see, perhaps you can see at the bottom the gate, which is in the image at the left. You can see the house here in the corner, which is just to the left. Up at the top, there's the name, Fujisawa. So these get impressed onto the paper, as you see on the left-hand side. And I'm using the back side of it to carve the rain lines. And if only it hadn't been a rainy day, this print would have been finished by now. But somebody says this print would take you half the time if it wasn't raining. So what is wrong with my ears, seeing as they should be covered with hair? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to lie on the couch here for a psychological examination. I don't know. My mother's probably here too, so I got to be careful what I say. My conscious memory of this is that when I was a kid in elementary school in Canada, it was brush cut. It was zzzz, bzz, 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 you know, the thing that the guy had just all over your head. Take it off. Hi, next, next, next. It took like 1 minute, 2 minutes. Me first, my brother next. And then that was it. Then we would be back 3, 4, 5 weeks later. Bzz, 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 bzz. And this went on until I was like 12, 13, 14 or something, 15 or something, I guess. And none of this was my choice. My mother was the type that she decided all this kind of stuff. You know, she would never have thought about having one of her children choose their own thoughts like this, you know. Whatever, that's the way it was back then. So Dave, first when he gets out of there, he got to be 16 or something, and maybe something, my mother said, okay, it's up to you. From now on, you want to choose, you choose, you choose. So I let my hair grow too long. I was 15 years old. This is 1966 or something. It's what era it is, you know. So of course my hair got stupidly too long. And I've never been able to find a balance between these things. I don't do styling, I don't do spray, I don't want to actually do anything. That's why this is here. I get up in the morning and start work. And whatever my body does, nails grow, hair grows, you push it out of your eyes, and that's it. So what you're seeing is just 100%, it falls the way it falls. And then once it finally gets in my eyes, or people say, Dave, something about this, then I go and get it chopped back, you know. So I don't know. It's just, I can't say I wish it wasn't there, because that's not true. It feels nice. But it's not something I sort of, quote, care about, except that obviously I do. We've all got the way that we want to do these things, you know. So anyway, it is what it is. It grows, it grows, it grows. It gets chopped, 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 and it keeps growing again and again and again. And again, the YouTube comments are an interesting feedback for me, because people will say things there that nobody will speak to you about. So, and another comment there, and this is kind of curious to me. It says, this guy thinks this 1970s still rock or something. So there are people who are sort of thinking that Dave is thinking that I want to have a specific hairstyle related to the 1970s. They mention the word Donny Osmond and stuff like this. And actually, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to make a 1970s hairstyle. It's just, this is the way the stuff comes out of my head, you know. That was from Jacques Soka. Jacques, good morning. I didn't actually recognize what's happening. That was Jacques' question. Good morning, sir. How's the book coming? Do you have public news you can talk about on this or not? Friend Jacques, who is here, I can leak this much information. Friend Jacques here has a book in the works, a book about prints. It's probably a ways away yet, and he's probably got nothing to show us yet, but Jacques has a book in the oven. These ones that are close together, they really are more difficult. Any individual line standing by itself on the block, you just come at it clearly and cleanly. They're mostly here in pairs and in three, but when they're together in three like this, getting that one in the middle, I think we're okay on this. Let's cut the relief out of here. Someone here says, I've been put off going to Japan for a print party too long, and now it's been shut down for 2 years. Print parties, print parties. Print parties, print parties. I don't really have any good news for you on this. In fact, I got a call the other day from an elementary school here. Maybe I was chatting about it, I don't know, about 10 days ago. An elementary school here called. They wanted to book print parties for a bunch of classes for next December. And I had to tell them, sorry, no way, no way, no way. I told them, don't even phone me back, because there's no way we're going to be doing that. Then I got an email the other day from a group in the US. It's a student travel kind of group. They organize travel for college kids in groups and stuff like this. And maybe part of it is they do a term at a university here. I don't know, it's exchange travel / culture group. And they've been coming for print parties for the past few years. And he's got like 30, 40 kids. They book 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, bang, 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 next, 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 next. We've done wonderful parties with them. And he wanted to book again for next spring. And I had to tell them that it's not going to happen. Even if I were willing myself to do this, which we're not right now, I don't think by next spring the country is going to be open for easy tourism. We're at, what is it, like 30% vaccination now, but that's simply all the old people. Nobody under 30 or 40 is vaccinated here at all. There's no prospect of it happening in the near future. So tourism is dead. And then as far as our shop goes, the print parties, the idea of having foreigners straight off the plane in a little back room, hunched over the desk, working together, there's no way I can hire staff to do that. Nobody would want to do it, and they would be shocked if I asked them to do it. So our hands are tied on print parties. Print parties at the moment, as far as we can see it, are history. So I appreciate that people are enthusiastic about it, but it's not a service that we are going to be able to provide anytime in the foreseeable future. We do plan on opening some kind of shop here again, although that too I can't put a schedule on it, but almost certainly it will not have a party event attached to it. So come and see us, come and see the prints, that's okay, but please don't count too much about parties now. It was fun while it lasted. We had some fun. My God, we had some fun. But it just wasn't sustainable, My God, we had fun. There was one time, I'll never forget it. This woman came. She came here straight from the airport. She'd been really nervous about visiting Japan. This is a common theme that we heard again and again and again. For some Westerners, it looks challenging to go to China or Japan. Like, they don't speak the language and the signs are all funny. So there are people who haven't had experience here who are really nervous about coming here. Their friends have said, it's okay, go. But they get off the airplane and they get the English information booth, so they get their train, whatever, into Tokyo. And this one lady from somewhere in America, she came in the door and she said, oh my God, I found it. I can't believe I found it. And we're like, what's going on? She said, I just got off the plane a couple of hours ago, and the customs, it was all so confusing, but I got on the train and I'm here. And she was just so nervous about being in Japan. I'm not dissing her. I'm just describing a kind of person that is here. So no problem. She was having her party, and you come, and as it turns out, I'm the host. Me and Audrey, I think, the French girl who was here before she had her baby, she was here. So me and Audrey were the hosts, and a couple of other people here. And we had fun. It's always fun, but sometimes it just goes over the top. And it gets sort of just insane. It got insanely fun. And partway through, this woman, she put her tools down. She just ran around. Where's the bathroom? She ran to the bathroom, which is right next to the party room. And she was laughing so hard, she nearly peed herself. She just had to get to the bathroom in the middle of the work. So anyway, long story short, this woman was so nervous about being in Japan. And this was her first experience of the country. And we didn't really think much about this. I get an email from her a couple of weeks later. She's in Osaka or something. She's heading home. And she sent us an email saying, I got to tell you, I got to say thank you for what happened that day. And she went on to explain that she had really felt so nervous. She had almost considered at the airport when she arrived getting back on a plane and go back to America. That's how nervous she had been here. And again, I'm not trying to make fun of this lady. There are people who have different approaches to this. But she said that experience of, one, being able to get to my place, figuring out the transportation system, which she did on her own, and then two, just being sort of blown open and having so much fun and just killing herself. When she went out the door here, she was confident and ready to go. And she said that the 2 weeks was the best 2 weeks of her life, and just thank you to us for blah, 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 so. And it's great, it's cool, thank you. Come to Mokuhankan, but stay close to the toilet. Actually, I remember her name too. I'm not going to, no way am I going to say it, but now that I've thought about it, I remember her name. Relax, if you're here, I will never ever speak it, but it's okay. But I do remember you. Speaking about the future business and stuff, our landlady visited yesterday. She drops in every once in a while to say hello and see how we're doing. And she had phoned in advance to make sure I was here. And she said, can I come with my friend such and such? And she told me the friend's name. And I said, yeah, well, sure. What time are you going to drop? Okay, so she came by about 5 or 5:30 or so. And she's fun. She's a dear little old lady. You know, my God, she has saved our lives just by having this place and making it available to us and not being venal about the rent. You know, she knows now that the rents in the area here are crazy high. And if it was all about the money, we wouldn't be able to afford this place. But we've talked about it before. Her granddad was a woodblock printer. He ran a workshop. So she feels a real tie to this. I guess she's got a couple of other buildings, so she's not desperate for money. So we're okay. So she doesn't need to get every last yen from this building. You know, if she wanted to do that, we couldn't afford it. So she drops by. And what she did, she and her friend is the lady who prepares these, what do you call them, tapestries? I guess, I don't know, whatever. It's a wall hanging. And the friend collects old, I don't know, furugi, old kimono and stuff like that. And she chops some of them up into this. And this, the one that she brought, it must have been June or something. This is wisteria, is it? I can't be quite sure what it is. So she brings them to try and change with the seasons. And it's now moving in towards autumn, so she brought the next one for us. You know, this lady has gone to the trouble of finding the pattern, choosing it, doing the sewing, making this up, checking the height and size, you know. And last time she came, I had to tell her that, you know, we're closed, you know, there's nothing going on, so you're going to an awful lot of trouble and the customers can't actually see this. And then I guess I made a bit of a, I can't say it's a mistake, whatever, last time I did this, but in trying to make it myself more friendly and open to her, I said, oh, but even though there's no customers actually, and I explained to her about streaming. I said, every few times a week we do streaming, and she says, what's streaming? And I explained to her what's going on. And I showed her a clip from a previous stream, exactly what you're seeing now, carving, blah, 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 Dave talking, and in the background, her tapestry. So that's it now. So this is ongoing. Whether this shop is closed and padlocked and whatever, it doesn't matter. She's going to be bringing these things as we change with the seasons now. I don't think she's going to be logging in to see it, but now she knows that her tapestry is being seen by people all around the world. So for her, this is really, 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 really happy. So I've got to change the next one. It's too soon to change it now because it's still steaming, stupid hot right now. But when we get into cooler weather, it will be time to do this. So remind me when we get to our first freezing cold day and you see me with my mist sweater on, remind me to change the tapestry. The idea of reusing old kimono, it's a big, big deal. You know, here in Japan, every single building that's a house, and this is no exaggeration, every single home that is so older than 20, 30, 40 years has drawers in it full of kimono that nobody wants. Nobody wants to stop. It has zero value, absolutely zero value. So old kimono here are worth literally nothing. There's a shop down the street. We can almost see it, you know. We can just see it. If you look down the far street, just where it turns the corner there before it hits the red brick building, the building on the corner is one of those shops where it sells kimono and kimono scraps and kimono obi. And enough material to make something like this would be 100 yen, 200 yen, 300 yen. If it was really spectacular, 500, 600, 700 yen, whatever. They are worthless. Worthless. No, it's a hobby for her, just her hobby, a little old lady hobby. Something to do, I guess, keep her active. And it's become their routine too. My landlady and then this lady, they meet here. So they must have phoned each other. So they met in a coffee shop, had their chat and their natter, and then came over here to deliver the new tapestry. So it's just another way for them just to get out of the house for a while for a given day. So. And the landlady then, she gets in her car and drives away. She temporarily parks her car in front of the building here. There's legally no parking, but whatever, she pulls up and I grab one of the cones and put it behind her car, and it's okay for a few minutes, whatever. But she is so, can I talk about this? It's okay. She's really a little old lady, and I mean little. Like she comes up to somewhere about here on me when we're standing talking. I'm actually literally bending my head and looking down to talk to her. So she gets in this car, closes the door, and I go out front to ready to wave her off, and no, comes coming, look, and I look at the car from the front, and all I can see is this. And there's the steering wheel, you know the deal. There's the steering wheel with the hands on it, and I can see that. And the rest is the dashboard, and that's all I can see. And she's got a booster seat, and this is where it gets to. And I laugh, and I make the little gesture about this, and she laughs back at me, and we have our little routine. I don't know what the law is. Is there a minimum height to be allowed to drive? I don't know. If I were making laws and rules, I'm not sure if I would make it so that someone like that could drive, Can she see stuff? I don't know. It has actually become a problem in Japan. Maybe this is international, I don't know. But it has become a problem in Japan in recent years where there has been an increasing number of accidents caused by elderly drivers. And when we say elderly, we're looking at 80, 85, 90, 95, you name it. It's very much a thing now. And there's lots of discussion going on as to whether to set a maximum age limit for licensing or whether to increase the testing for people once they get to a certain age, whatever. But of course, given how many old people there are in society, they're yelling about no discrimination, no discrimination. But the stats are there. There's lots of accidents recently caused by elderly drivers. It's a real thing. But I guess this must be happening all over the world, not just Japan, I don't know. You heard the bottles there, and I did actually get my stuff out last night. I didn't take all cardboard because I didn't have the time and trouble to bundle it all up, so there's still cardboard sitting here. But I got all my bottles and cans out. When I went down there to take them out, it's funny. Our garbage, not disposal area, the place where we put these things waiting for pickup, it's halfway down the block towards the donkey store. And across the street from it is that window in the wall where the Pachinko people go for their payouts. Those of you who know the system in Japan, when you win at Pachinko, the law says you can't take your payout in the same building. I don't know the background of it all, whatever. They separate the payouts from the thing. It's because of the gambling legislation or whatever. And another rule about those places is that the payout amounts have to be visible to everybody. So the payout window is there. The person puts their token or tokens inside. the lady does a quick run up, and then her machine, like a reverse cash register, her machine flashes red, and the guy standing outside and anybody walking nearby can see the payout figure. And just as I was there last night putting my cans in, and there's the red payout flash, and it said something like 1,200 yen, like $10 or whatever. I thought, well, there's a lucky one. How many hours did they spend in the pachinko parlor to get 10 yen? But it reminded me, of course, of the one I saw the other day. Did I tell you about this 2 or 3 days ago? It was big news for me. I must have told you about this, didn't I? The pachinko payout that I saw. What day is today? Today's Thursday. 3 days. I don't remember if I told you about it. It was a pachinko payout. I was going down the street on the way to or from the 7-Eleven to get my dinner. And it flashed. And as you look at it, it flashed. And I saw it. It was longer than normal. So I walked a little bit towards, I'm walking up the middle of the street. And the thing is there. And it flashed on the right. I saw the thing. And I'm like, no way. So I walk a bit closer. And I passed just behind the guy. And it was 6 figures. It was 355000. And I'm like, what? It was 355000. That's 355,000 yen. In US dollars, that's just something over 3 grand. And the guy, whatever, I didn't see the money, whatever, she's got a little envelope, he has a little shoulder bag, he puts it in his shoulder bag, and he walks down the street behind me, and I'm going to 7-Eleven, so I turn around, I want to see his face, is he like, nothing, he's just zero, neutral. I guess that's what you do when you suddenly put $3,000 in your pocket and walk down the street, and you're in this kind of an area, and the gangsters know that the payout has just been made. I think you walk straight to the train station and you get out of here. I don't know. I've never heard of any problem with this, and I'm kind of curious. The gangsters are tied to the pachinko parlors, so that payout was instantly, flashed around. They knew what's going on. There might have been somebody standing by, watch the guy follow him. Do they do that? I don't know. I was very careful not to sort of look at him, or I'm going to get, hey, what are you looking at, kind of thing. No, thank you. I just walked away, of course. And he headed just down the street, I guess it's no big deal. Casinos pay out sometimes millions. This is $3,000. That's not such a big deal. But still. So Dave's hard up for hobbies. This is one of his hobbies, walking down the street and looking at the pachinko payouts. As far as I know, it's tax-free. It's probably not supposed to be tax-free. When you get income like this, you're probably supposed to declare it on your income. But there's no paperwork. They don't know your name. When you go into a pachinko parlor, you buy your tokens, you win, they give you your tokens. There's no name or anything. And at the payout window, he slides the plastic tokens under the window, the lady slides the cash under the window, and away you go. So there's no reporting. You don't have to give your tax number or anything like this. So it's de facto tax-free, even though I think you're supposed to declare gambling winnings as income. I don't know the background of this, but... Maybe what the government does is maybe they take their piece from the pachinko parlors, as a casino tax or something. I don't know. So they get their piece that way. I don't know how it works. The other curious thing about this culture is the way that the pachinko parlors work. You can't take the payout in the same building. There's also something in the medical system that you're not allowed to to buy a prescription from the same place that gives the prescription to you. So if you go to the hospital or something, any size hospital, a little local tiny one-room hospital in the community, or a giant hospital, national hospital, whatever, you do your doctor thing, blah, blah, maybe they prescribe you whatever it is, blah, 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 blah. When you get to the payout, you get a slip of paper, you pay for your doctor visit, and then a slip of paper comes, and you have to go outside and you look around for where the pharmacy is that's tied to the hospital. And just like the pachinko parlors are tied to the payout windows, if you don't know where they are, the girl will say, hi, around the corner to the left, down the alley, where you go. The hospitals are tied to a pharmacy. And I guess theoretically they're not supposed to be owned by the same people. So the same people that dispense prescriptions are not allowed to sell the prescribed drugs. Is it they're trying to avoid people prescribing too much so the guy gets money from his left pocket to his right pocket? I don't know the background. But that's this situation. So whenever you get prescribed something, you have to come out of the hospital with your paper and you start hunting around. And usually you can see it. Or if you didn't know where it is, you could ask the hospital, where is it? They'll say, oh yeah, go down 2 blocks, turn right, and it's in the back alley or whatever. And they're totally separated. I'm not, somebody's saying, Pachinko can be open now, but Dave can't. I am not legally shut down here. There's no legal shutdown of any kind here in Japan. The government can't shut down restaurants. They can't shut down theaters. They have no legal ability to do so. So I am not being shut down by the authorities, whereas the Pachinko parlors can open. The reason I'm shut down is because I have no customers. I have personally shut my business down. I could open every day if I want and sit here and wave my flag and just sit here and do nothing. So don't misunderstand. My business has not been crushed by the heavy hand of an authoritative government. Not at all. I could be open 24 hours a day if I wanted to. It just simply, for me, makes no sense. It's a funny thing about Japan, there's sort of some remnants of the police state thing. In the 1930s or so, there was this was a police state back then. The police used to raid houses if you were going to be an activist, a left-wing activist or something. The police would scoop you up in the middle of the night and you're gone. Japan in the 1930s was like that. Then as a reaction to that, when the new constitution came in post-war, written by the American ladies and stuff like this, it went the other way. The government was they basically have no powers of control over individuals or businesses or anything. It's an extremely weak government here in terms of that. I'm not complaining, I'm just describing it. But as a result, when you have a legitimate type of emergency like this, the government is very restricted in what they are able to do as far as legislating behavior. There's a so-called state of emergency on, but it still doesn't give them any power to control things like theaters should be closed, etc., etc. It's a very curious situation. So I haven't been shut down. I'm sorry if I gave that impression, whatever the words. Dave is closed, but this is our own choice. And over the last week or so, we thought a little bit, not seriously, we thought a little bit about opening again. Because as I was working here over the past few days, a few times each day, there have been foreigners, visitors at the door. Can I come in? Can I come in? And these are people who had done their thing at the Olympics and they're now getting ready to go home. And each time I've said, I'm sorry, no, we are closed. We're not prepared to open for business. I went outside and chatted with the guys. One group was 3 Brits. They were from a catering company. I hadn't realized that. I knew the Koreans brought their own catering because they don't trust the Japanese Fukushima produce or whatever. But I didn't realize that the British had done the same thing. They had brought their own catering teams. I don't know if it was for all sports or just for a couple of sports. I don't know. But these guys worked for a British catering team who had been in the Olympic Village, catering for the athletes. So. And we chatted, and I said, look, I'm sorry, I'm sure you're vaccinated, and I'm not worried about you, but just we don't have a shop. It's all shut down. It's been turned into a warehouse, and blah 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 blah. And the funny thing, they were more nervous being in town about catching anything than in giving something. And it's funny, Mr. and Mrs. Suzuki on the street sees these foreigners walking down, and Mr. and Mrs. Suzuki walk to the other side of the street. Oh my God, it's a foreigner. They're for the Olympics. Maybe they've got virus, blah, blah, blah. And they said, these Olympic people are vaccinated, checked every day, blah, blah, blah. They're probably the safest people in town. And if they catch it, then that's it. They have to quarantine when they go back. So they desperately did not want to catch anything. So they're walking down the street. The Japanese people are avoiding them, and they're quite happy with it. So they chatted. Well, I chatted with them for a while outside, and apologized that I couldn't help them with what they wanted. But and they're cool. They got it. They were resigned to the fact that Tokyo was basically shut down. I was curious about the fact that they didn't trust Japanese food. It was funny, I mean, Japan at the moment, of course, is heavily trying to promote produce from the Tohoku area, the Fukushima area, stuff like this. It's a main agricultural area for Japan. A lot of rice is grown up there and stuff like this. So that produce from up there, the fish from the nearby sea, from the nuclear reactor, and the rice and everything, it's the most heavily tested food on the surface of this planet. I mean, nothing gets by with more than a soup, whatever. Minuscule amounts of radiation. It's the cleanest, safest food on the surface of this earth right now. But there's still some residual fear, I don't know. How's our time? We're okay? Yes, doing all right. Are we planning to open the shop, or do we plan to keep it remote? We're going to be online. We will open this shop when and if the airports open up, and when and if people actually start coming into Japan. Remember, I don't know if you know, we have no Japanese customers. Japanese people themselves are not interested in what we do. Our business is really based on foreigners. So at the moment there are none, so we are just for practical purposes staying close. So we're keeping the lease. We didn't give up. We talked about this over the past year many times. We have not given up the lease. If I was giving up, we would abandon the first floor. We'd go upstairs to the workshop area, make our prints, and let a restaurant come in here. But we've held on to it because we're hoping that sometime in the future we will be able to open again. So yes, please hang on. We do plan to be ready when you are able to come back to Japan. When was the first Olympics in Tokyo? 64 to show, big deal. A life-changing experience for many Japanese people, 64. The accomplishment, that was one of the world's just staggering accomplishments. When you look at what Tokyo looked like in 1945, the idea that they could put it all back together in 20 years and do a world-class Olympics. And nobody, you would have had to have your head examined, And they did it, 1945 to 1964. Lots of help from the rest of the world, of course, in the early days. It was planned, I don't remember the numbers, you're probably already talking about in the chat. The Olympics were planned for Tokyo in 1940, I guess, and then, that little episode, the Second World War, got in the way, and I think it went to a Scandinavian country. It was taken from Tokyo and given to a Scandinavian country, but even they were not able to do it because of the war. So that would be the 1940 Olympics, I guess. 40 or 42, or I don't remember, I'm sorry. It was canceled. I think I remember reading a story about that, the 40-year Olympic jinx or something. Is that how it works? 1940 was canceled, 1980, 40 years later, was the boycott, and then 2020 didn't make it. So there's sort of a talk about a 40-year jinx on the Olympics. Coming along. How much we got left? Another dozen or so. Dave, do I have any prints from Utagawa Kunisada? If you mean in the flea market, we have reproductions by Kunisada. Yes, we have a bunch of Kunisada Bijinga in the flea market section. I don't think there's any landscapes right now. I'm not really sure. If you're curious, you can drop a mail, and Watanabe-san will reply if you really do want to know. But I know the next question is going to be, why don't we build a search facility in the flea market section? And I know it's on my list of things to do. People are asking. They want to search by name, search by title, search by price. It's coming, but it's not on my list of things to start this afternoon. I'm sorry. So. It's getting hot here. You know, when I came down this morning to get set up and ready for the stream, it was still a little bit morning cool. I opened the front door, opened the back window, and a bit of a cool breeze was going through, you know. And now here we are an hour later, and that's no longer a cool breeze. It's so we'll see how it goes here. And for us, the next few days, it's going to be rain, rain, rain. There's no specific typhoon risk now, but we are into the middle of our monsoon season. And it's low pressure areas all over the whole country. I guess what happens is the ocean out there is so hot, water just scoops up into the sky, and we're a target. The whole east side of Japan, the Pacific coast, it's just going to be steady, steady monsoon type rain, you know, the kind that just falls out of the sky. It starts and it stops. And that's going to be our fate here now in Tokyo for the next at least week or so, and possibly quite a bit longer. It's monsoon season. And this is the time when we really fear for our prints and stuff. It's the worst time of year. Our prints are in storage in drawers, and as long as we keep air moving through those rooms. In Ome, the prints are upstairs on the second floor, and when I'm living there, I keep the windows cracked open and watch for rain and go up and down and keep the air moving through the room. But when I'm here in Asakusa, nobody's living in Ome. So the ladies, during the day when they're there, they air the place as much as they can. But they're only there from like maybe 9:30 in the morning till about 3:30 or so in the afternoon. And the rest of the time, that place is locked up, shut tight. I mean, you can't leave a window open when they're going away for a couple of days because, it could be an absolute disaster. So the Ome place these days is not a great place for print storage, It's not a huge problem for us because actually unusual for most print publishers, most of the prints we make leave the building quite soon. I mean, everything we make actually these days is shipped within a couple of weeks of making it. All of our subscription prints, bang, out they go. We print them, out they go. We print them, out they go. The great ways, we print them, out they go. So we're not holding on to a lot of print inventory here these days. It's not the way this business is supposed to work. We're supposed to be what they would call a long tail business. We would print 100 copies of any given print, for example, put it in the shelf, and then take orders for it one by one over the next couple of years. When it gets low, we print it again, and away it goes. That's the theory behind our business. That's the way that places like Adachi work. But because of our subscription model, that's not what happens here. Most of our prints leave the building straight away. So we're not sitting on huge piles of inventory.お、どうも、ありがとうございます。どうも。はい、どうも。It's auction stuff, not for the collection. It's auction stuff for the shop. It's a Takamizawa Tanzakuban set. In our current flea market, there's a bunch of these. If you look in the flea market under Kachoga, the nature prints, you'll see quite a few prints in the Tanzaku format. These are vertical, long, and thin. There was a major set of Hiroshige Tanzaku prints published by Takamizawa in the 1960s and 70s. And my God, they must have sold a bajillion of them. Because, and this is no exaggeration, we get a chance at least once a week to buy some of those sets. And almost always they are broken sets. Because people have collected the set in the 1960s, they get one or two frames, put a couple in frames, and maybe sometimes they even change them, or maybe not. And that's the way it goes. Then 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years goes by, somebody's cleaning up, they see the prints on the shelf, out the Yahoo auction, and the kid who's cleaning up doesn't know that the two prints in those frames belong in this set. So out to auction comes a set of 12 prints, and the guy says, I'm sorry, 2 are missing. And the packaging is, blah, blah, blah. So every week we get these broken sets, which is good news, bad news for us, because it's not a collectible set, so we take them apart one by one. They go in the shop here, and people enjoy those Tanzaku prints one by one. But every now and again, we get a complete set with no foxing, no mold or whatever, and then it goes into the flea market. And Watanabe-san, she's preparing one right now. these are broken sets, the one coming in here today, but the one she prepared last week is a full set. Sales information coming soon to a flea market near you, a full set of those Takamizawa Tanzaku prints. Watch out for it. She's coming in on Friday, and maybe she'll have it ready by Friday. I don't know. Talking about the Omen place, there's no air conditioner in that building, I know, upstairs. Where those prints are stored, there's no air conditioning there at all. I could buy one and build it into the building and stuff, but I don't want to run, there's nobody there. I don't want to run air conditioners and heaters and stuff when nobody's in the building. It's an old 30, 40-year-old wooden building. And no. I guess somebody who lives in Texas, whatever, you would really love to be 30. It's, yeah, we don't get to the 45 and stuff like that. But our problem here, of course, is the humidity. What is it today? I'm guessing it's 85 or something. So when it's 30 degrees and 85 and no air movement whatsoever, that's when it gets to be no fun. I'm not complaining that this is the worst on the planet. I'm sure lots of places get more uncomfortable than this. But it is no fun. So, where am I? What did I do here? That's the relief cut. Okay, here we go. Time is okay? Oh, yeah, time for one more cut then. Hey. Oh, soka. And of course, we have a show and tell today. We are still flipping through that little miscellaneous book. But please remind me, before we look in the book, a box arrived. Another package arrived from the U.S. from Jack's. A small box. JAXX. What's that called? Something Jack's or Jack's something. There's a package arrived from Jack's. And I hadn't known this was coming, but when I first saw it, the guy dropped it off yesterday. The mailman dropped it off. And I'd like, what is this? And he just said, David Bull, Mokuhankan. I'm yeah. So he drops it and runs away. And I look at the label, and it says it's from Jack's, which is the that model figure company, model company. I don't know what they're called actually, figure company. And I thought, holy crap, word has got back to them that I broke a part on my Mario Kart. And it's being replaced. No way, that's not possible. Is it the fans? And I thought maybe somebody on the stream here had done the usual thing that sometimes people are doing here. But no connection with that. So we have a very small non-green tape unboxing. Okay, we are done. Hi, buzz, buzz, buzz. Sorry. I just had to finish that line to show. No, John's got a good question. It's the other half. He's asking, is it the other half of the rickshaw cart scene? And not at this size. But it is from Mighty Jack's. So I really don't know. Somebody is sending replacement parts that broke. Is that possible? When did we do that? It was only a few days ago to show. Well, Conter knows what it is. It's not the other half, that's not out yet. Okay, wait a minute, how about here? When I went to the website, the other half that's not out, it says it's already sold out. Is it sold out or is it not ready yet? Conter, I'll let it be surprised, though most people will scratch it. So you know what's in here? Conter, did you send this? Let's have a look. Spare parts. Pre-ordered. Heroes by Jed Henry. Has he done another one that I didn't know about? All I know about is he's done another one. I didn't know about this. Cards. Oh, these are the cards we've seen before. Geez, here I am. I'm bad-mouthing the one the other day. Remember I said the plastic was cheap and stuff like this. I've been bad-mouthing it. Download and open the app. It's a thing. For the instructions, you should download them. Momohime. You know, Japanese Momo is peach, Hime is princess or queen or. Get the instructions. I don't think there's going to be any assembly required here, right? If my mother's watching this, she'd just be peeing herself laughing. Dave and his plastic model dolls and stuff. What? Okay, Quantar's explaining. Is he here, Quantar? Quantar. There's no U, so it's Quantar, I guess, is it? There was a special figure offer for those that ordered early. A special Momohime figurine, Princess Peach. And here we have it. I did not know this. So does it go on the? Let me go and fetch the thing. Hang on a sec. Does it go together? The Princess Mario is fighting for. Yeah, I know that. I know that much history. I've never played the game, but I do know the concept. So there's the figure we got last week. I see. So this is simply our goal. Okay. Is my brother watching? Oh my God. Bottom of her kimono is the stand. I see that. And then that thing they gave. Okay, let's open this up. There's a round circle thing. That goes underneath or something? Oh, microphone. Hi. Thank you, John, microphone assistant. Whatever. Tom and John, microphone assistants. Hey. It's a keychain. Okay, actually, I get part of what this is about. On the other one, there was a thing on the bottom. There was a sticker that says peel it off. And part of the instructions here were this. Part of the instructions. You download the app, you log in, and then you scan the sticker. So there's a sticker, and for the peach shimmy, I guess here, there's a sticker here which we would peel open and scan, and that verifies that I am the registered owner of this, I guess, or something. So Contra is saying too, I didn't bother with that part. So whatever, I haven't done this yet, I can't have an app, but there we have it. So, but I am curious now about the other part. I thought that it was already sold out, but if it's in production, then there would be two that go together here. The Mario type character and the Koopa/Bowser type character on the other side of it. Anyway, I got to write to Jed. I guess these are presents from Jed. I know he produces these commercially. I think this one is sold out now. And when Jed told me about it a year or so ago, he said they allowed him to have a few copies for distribution, himself. Whether that meant he had to pay for them or not, I don't know. But Jed very kindly put me on the list and has sent me these too. So I will have to write to him. And I didn't glue the handle. It's still here. It's loose. I'm not going to muck around with this. I glued the boy's foot in place because if I don't, it falls out. It faces downwards, and without glue, the leg just falls out every time. So there we have it. The second part is sold out, but they haven't finished making it yet. I see. So maybe I'll be on the list, Jed's little private list or not. I don't know. I wouldn't ask him. He's probably got lots of friends who would like to have this, so I'll keep quiet. Okay, Jed-san, thank you very much. It's going to go in. It'll go in the Mokuhankan collection of old, ancient Japanese prints and figures. Thank you, Jed-san. Okay. We have time for our normal, for our normal show and tell, right? It's 9:25. We're okay. Let's look at a couple of prints. Okay, those of you who have been with us for a few weeks know what's going on here. We're going through, we have a bunch of random folders, the miscellaneous folders in our collection. We have dozens and dozens of folders like this. We have boxes and drawers full of prints that are waiting to be put into folders like this. So we have a never-ending stream of stuff like this to look at. How far did we get through this book here? Flipping. That was interesting. That's a treasure. We saw these. That's it. Oh, we saw these yesterday. John, next. Oh, my mother is here. I like peach. My mother is here. Okay. How you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while. I did get a photograph. My sister sent me a photograph of a sunflower, which I believe is on my mother's balcony. My mother has I guess it's what's the word, a habit or a custom of growing, she's not, in the old days we had gardens, but nowadays my mother lives in an apartment, and on the balcony, I guess there's strict rules about what you can do and can't do, whatever, but my mother's got this, she does every year, a sunflower. And my sister sent me a photograph of it the other day, Mom's sunflower. Okay, what have we got? Today, okay, that's more interesting. But anyway, let's look at this thing first. If you let's see. Back in this folder, a few days ago / weeks ago, we saw a couple of prints. Here, we had these 2 prints, and these were from a Meiji era subscription series. A publisher back in the late Meiji time, and it must have continued on into Taisho. They gathered designs into groups of 12, I think, and sometimes perhaps 20 or 24. I don't have all the documentation for this. But they gathered designs into groups of, certainly they did it in 12s. And this series was a series about famous women from previous eras. And I had 2 of them, and that's what we saw. This one today, it's another loose one. And I'm not quite sure what the series name is. It's only one print I've got from the series. It's from the same era. And what would be the series name? Somebody help me with these characters here. That top one is a character that is no longer in use at all, anymore at all. I haven't a clue what it says. If I was going to guess at the pronunciation, I'd guess Hiro or something, but I haven't any idea. Then the next 2 we have Snow and Picture, and it's a set something number 2, and I don't have any idea how to read that first one. Has Dangaksha or somebody here got it? Yeah, the last, John and me are on the last one. The last character is indeed the character for 2, and it's Dai-ni, number 2. So it's not number 2 in this set, it's that particular set, the first group, and that particular set, the second group. But the first character there is completely and totally beyond me, I'm sorry. So if anybody's got any information on it, fine, fire it over, because it's way past my pay grade. We could look it up, and all the girls here, they have a little app on their phone. And what you normally do, when you're looking for characters, you do your finger in the air. Let's see, like this, and then they look and you compare, and you draw your finger thing in the air. And now you just do your screen, of course. You draw your finger thing on the screen, what you think it might be, and the screen will indeed tell you what's going on. And somebody's saying, so Corin says, it looks like 4 characters in one, and it indeed is. It's a kind of a character that has been blown away. They really, really simplified it. They simplified it in Meiji. They simplified it again at the end of the Second World War. And I think there was another round somewhere in the late 1980s. They went through and purged a few more. So anyway, I don't know. Anyway, so the series is, presumably, it's old artists or old episodes or old something. And other than that, I have no clue. So we should be looking at the print instead of just making noise. It's a watercolor painting that has been turned into a print. And it's a style we've seen here now many, 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 many times. It's actually woodblock printed, even though it's got things like this. The calligraphy starts dark and gets lighter, something that is not normally possible in a flat woodblock print. But they have done that in a gradation, probably 2 impressions, light gray first and then darker gray on top. And a lot of the thing is done with multiple impressions. There's a piece of wood carved for this particular piece of mountainside, and it's printed first in a flat gray, and then it's printed again with what we call atenashi bokashi. Bokashi is gradation, and atenashi means not with any specific place to hit. So it's fuzzy. The brush would just come, let's do it here and here and here, print. Then he dabs his brush for the next one. Let's do it here and here and here. And he tries to get them in the same place, but they're not all going to look exactly the same. They use atenashi for doing things like makeup. They would do a pink blush on somebody's cheek, and there's no round block for it. It's the head block, but they just rub on the place they know will become the cheek. Somebody's got some idea on the kanji here. It could be rosetsu. I'll take the suggestion. Thank you very much. But so I'll have a look at it later to see if it matches. Do we need to zoom in again? That is indeed looking very close, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Komugiko Maru. I think that's it. I'll take a chance and I'll throw out a chocolate egg to say thank you, because I think that's it, sir. But I don't know the kanji. What would it mean? What would it mean, rosetsu? The other thing we should look at is the date. Excuse me a minute here while I look closer. Hang on a sec. Oh my God, Meiji. 26. Meiji 26, the 7th month, the 10th day was the original date of publishing. Meiji, just let me check it again. 1, 2, 3, 20. So Meiji 26, July. July the 10th of Meiji 26. So what's Meiji 26? Come on, guys, get to it, get to it, get to it. Rosetsu, it could be, what could it be? It could be the art name of the guy who designed these things. I don't think that's the case, because that would be, oh, yes, yes. There's also Yuki here. Probably then, this is probably the person's name to show. Oh, someone's got it here. Nagasawa Rosetsu, painter. Chocolate eggs all around. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it's a collection, the second collection of designs by Nagasawa Rosetsu. So this snow has no literal meaning here. This is an art name that this person has taken. 1893. I got overdue library books older than that. Okay, go for it, guy. We have a Wikipedia page. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I've got no idea who's here. Chocolate eggs to those who have helped. Thank you. This is, we've got so much stuff waiting like this. You know what we've been doing? I talk about our collection, but that's not really a fair word. At the moment, it's an accumulation. And there's a big, big difference. When I was a kid, I got some postage stamps and blah, 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 blah. And I remember going to a dealer. C.F. Peters was the dealer in Winnipeg. And I'd taken my little album. And I must have said something. I want to be a stamp collector. He says, and he explained the difference between these two words. I'll sort of semi-remember the conversation from 60 years ago. Well, I said, well, no, what you've got here is an accumulation. There's no sorting. There's no knowledge of what's going on. Like he said, for example, what country is this? Did you know? And I'm like, no, I don't know. Suomo, what does it mean? He says, Suomo is Finland. And he sort of talked to me and showed me what's going on. You've got to turn your accumulation into a collection. It's not a collection until you understand what you have and it's sorted out and you can learn knowledge about it and pass it on and blah, 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 blah. So the point he made all those years ago, 60 years ago, was the same thing. And we're playing both right now. Mokuhankan here has both. We have a large accumulation. We are trying to preserve and protect and grab things cheaply where we can to get them all into one location. And then as time goes by, bit by bit by bit, we want to learn more about these, do the research, learn what we can, how to properly preserve them, and show them to the world. And at that point, it becomes the Mokuhankan collection. It's online already, some of it. So this is part of our accumulation. And now with a bit more knowledge, I'll make some notes here and put it in here. It now starts to become part of our collection. But there is a big difference. Accumulation is easy. Anybody with money, just throw some money around and grab stuff and you've got an accumulation. But it doesn't mean you know jack about it. So whatever. Okay, there is more to see, but actually now we've run over time. The next group, the next one is something quite different from this. And I think on the next page, yeah, there's 3. So the next one is something different. And it also is something we've probably never seen before as part of this collection. And it also something very interesting to talk about. So we'll take care of that on Saturday. Let's sign off. Let's put the outside back up. Thank you very much for the information on this. I will make notes about this and put them in the folder here so that next time we come time to get this organized, we will know where to start. Thank you very much, gang. Okay, I'm out of here. Get busy with some real work. The garbage, he's an hour late today. Look at this. Either he's an hour late or I started this stream an hour too early, one or the other. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks very much. Bye for now. See you next time. Late garbage man.